Okay, today we've got our nice cleaned up footers, swept them all off, so we're ready to move on to the next step, which is forming the walls. So I'm using, you're probably not going to see a lot of this on YouTube, this might be a bit unique. I'm using the One Series of the Nudura ICF forms, and what that means is you get that foam on one side, and you get plywood on the other. And I want to have just plywood on my exterior. I don't want to deal with all the, I forget what you call it. There's some sort of surface you put on the outside of your foam and all that. I don't want to deal with any of that. I just want, concrete showing. So, the first step here, I'm trying to figure out how to start. And how I've decided I want to do it is I want to work on this section here. That corner down there, which I have marked, you probably can't see it. There's a bit of an X and a circle. Um, that's kind of, I'm using that as a reference point to kind of build everything else off of. I have all my other corners marked as well. But I want to basically do these steps because what you got to worry about is so there's your board's going to go across and then the other one's going to go underneath. But the one on the very bottom is going to be a different height, which is going to make it so that once you get up to, the level of this, you're straight across. So I want to basically work on that first, and since this distance is shorter than the length of these 8-foot pieces of styrofoam, I'm just gonna run, straight across from the corner to the wall, and I'll do my staggering when I get up higher, because then I got to worry about seams. So that's what I'm working on right now, is just getting this measured and all that to make sure that I cut this correctly for the first course. So I'm just working on dry fitting a few pieces over there, just getting my bearings, make sure I don't cut anything wrong. And I thought this was a little interesting, so I had to basically cut this guy lengthwise in order to make it 12 inches high. And you gotta be careful because 12 inches high means from this edge, not this, but this edge, to the other flat edge. These little nubs, they disappear, except if you actually have them on the very bottom or on the very top. But when you're talking about working on creating that step height, because there's going to be another row on top, they basically are going to go away because they're going to disappear into the upper row and they're not going to be on the lower row. So yeah, just be careful about that if you're doing this. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've seen videos where they screw into these things, and this is basically what you're screwing into. You have this, I don't know what that is, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch thick piece of plastic. So if you ever screw in to this area where it's got that ribbing on it with a screw or whatever, then that's what you're screwing into, is that plastic. So like, for example, if you're doing strapping, so make sure when you are screwing in, you're screwing into this ridged part and not somewhere in the middle, because there's nothing there for it to catch. Also, that's about maybe a thumb width or so before you even hit it, so just for sizing on the screws. Well, we're making some progress. I'm getting the first course down on the lower level here of the ICF, and you can see there it's just it's loosely, kind of just laid out. I don't have the webbing in between and all that, just in a couple spots for giggles, but it's moving along now. I'm getting more comfortable with it. These are kind of the zoom in of what those boards look like that I'm creating. So you get this jig over here, which you've probably seen if you've looked up the Nudura stuff. This is for the One Series to create the plywood pieces, and you get these pieces that go on. And so I'm putting them on, and I'm only screwing in the one piece. Measure out where it is. It's 4.5 inches down, and then it's 4 inches in from the edge, and then every 8 inches. So put a little dot on the board, screw a screw through, make sure it's going through to the little hole on the other side, and it's been pretty simple to do that. And you can buy the plywood from Nudura. It's 3/4 inch, but it was going to take an extra month to get it, so I was like, nope, get it from Home Depot and doing it myself. So and then I'm just cutting this off, and then for the webbing, This is the full 18-inch length webbing. I just cut here. Hold on a second. I have two hands here. This spot here, and then on the opposite side. And then that creates, I don't have any handy to show you, but just creates a shorter one of these guys. And it's still got, you know, at least that loop holding it together on the bottom. When I do the 6-inch pieces, then I'm going to cut it around like here somewhere, and then I'll have that full mesh. Now, if you look at one of them a little more up close, you can kind of see down into here. There is a ton of play. If I move this side to side, which I don't want to do right now, it will move, and it will, you know, it'll angle this little piece and slide, and it'll be able to do that. Because of that, so I need this to be perfectly straight across, because I want my 8 inches and my walls need to be straight and all that stuff. So there's another piece that I need to get from the store. It's like a web that goes, metal grate that kind of goes across, and I think it's only for the first course. But I need to get that to make these more rigid. Over here you can see that it's just a little too long. I'm going to have to adjust that. Just get a saw, cut it. But yeah, other than that, things are going well. Continue, you know, on this first course, and then after that I need to start bending some rebar, get that in, and get that other metal. And currently I don't have the vehicle. I won't have it for, I won't be able to get to the store probably for like 5 days. So this whole project is going to be on pause for a little while, unfortunately. So yep, and then I'll get back to it, and I'll start laying the higher courses, and I'll probably bring you back once I'm maybe once I start to get to the upper row. It's been a while since my last clip. I had a family thing that, like a party reunion thing that was like 4 or 5 days long. So we had some washout. That's kind of a bummer, but not the point. I've gotten some interesting new things going on with the forming here. So here you can see a, you know, kind of more complete row. I have my wood attached to my styrofoam fully. I have all the webs in. I have this form lock in, which there was some debate as to whether or not you're supposed to use form lock with the One Series stuff, and yes, you are. It's fully able to get in there. You can see, like, here's they call it universal connector, I think, and that's the web, and it squishes between, which is similar to, you know, what would be happening on the styrofoam side. So all that's all fine and good, but I'm using garbage plywood, and yeah, you can see it there, especially in that bend right here. You can tell that plywood is not straight. So laying my second course, I'm trying to correct for that, and that's going on here. So you can see I got another stack up on top of the first row, and this is our first course that has, you know, the proper full-sized web. So I was able to jam them in there pretty good. You'll notice I do not have the form lock on this row. I don't think it's supposed to be used on this row. Let me see. Am I debating as to whether or not that's correct or not? I think that's just how it's going to be. Oh, because, yeah. So the reason why I'm debating is because normally this styrofoam has a teeth, locks into the bottom. So your width is kind of maintained. This is not locked into the bottom there. But you can tell there's, I'm correcting for the bowing, because all the plywood is bowing out in the middle. And I'm making sure that bow out is always coming towards me. So with that, I'm making sure that my second course is halfway between, you know, the course below, and I'm trying to basically counter those bows so it'll straighten out. Oh, and the other thing, so I have this piece of corner metal, you know, that's eventually going to be up on the corner of this whole thing, and I'm using that to kind of jam on to the plywood and straighten it out while I connect these and get it all jammed on. So that's helping me as like a temporary jig, and I'm just about to pull that off, and let's see what it looks like. Alright, so with it off, the bow does return a bit. Not as bad as before. It's being supported by the styrofoam, but you can see that styrofoam is also bowing with the wood. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some extra reinforcement here. I'm gonna try kicking the whole thing over, just to, yeah, but I'll have to do that off camera. I need two hands, just to help kind of decrease the bowing. But I'm gonna need to do a little bit of something in order to get that straight, and so my walls aren't wavy. But that's you know, that's like the fine detail of just getting some extra wood on here, screwing it on so everything gets tight, and moving things around until they're right. So that's what we're doing. This is just a reminder to myself because I have to pack this thing back up before it goes back. So these guys, which are the railings, this is the alignment system for Nudura. They go on the top. Then it looks like we got all those aluminum braces in the back. And then these, I think, are made for putting the catwalk up in the front. And then in the middle, it looks like we have all of the turnbuckle things. So, and those hooks are on the sides and over there. So I think I'm gonna post this video. It's been a while since I posted one, so I'll just do one in the middle here. But basically, I got that wall, portions of that. So that's the door. This is actually the highest it's gonna go, except for leveling. And yeah, then there's gonna be a big up here. But anyway, so portions of this are actually done. I worked on making sure that that wall was as perfect as I could. It's, you know, it's I think plumb is the right word, straight up and down. It's straight. Actually, let me show you what I did, because this is interesting. So I had to straighten it, and it's like straight. I say straight enough. Like if you look real closely, you can see there's like a little bit of waviness and whatnot, but that's straight. We're doing construction here, not cabinetry. So yeah, this is how I kind of dealt with that. I pushed and pulled these L, I don't know, braces, whatever you want to call them, to kind of take the flex out at, you know, basically where it was the biggest problems. I kind of wanted to do this row all the way across, just to have that level be good, and then I'll probably do it again when I get up higher. But then down here, the bottom was looking pretty bowy, so I did some stuff about that, and I got some other boards, you know, down there, making that straighter. You can see, like, right here, there's a spot. That's just, I'm gonna get a board and something small and kind of make it so that that one corner isn't bowing in. But yeah, this, I'm pretty proud of this wall. This is nice and straight and all that kind of thing. And I also made sure that it was the right length. That corner over there is like my reference point, and then this one over here, what I did was I kind of slid it out until I measured from the inside corner, you know, from in here, used a laser level all the way to the inside corner over at the far one, made sure that was the length that I wanted for my foundation. After, you know, I made sure that this was completely level. And yeah, so it's accurate now. So this wall is, except for it needs to go up more, but other than that, it is done. And yeah, I just gotta continue on doing the rest of the walls. I gotta add more braces, obviously, to this one and keep going up. But we're making progress. There's a big storm coming tonight and tomorrow, which I'm nervous about. Because, you know, we got washout from the last one, and I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I think it's like an inch of rain or something that's supposed to come. Oh, my dog's freaking out. Okay, I'm going to go. See ya.